watching Tailgate Week, presented by
Avocados from Mexico.
We welcome you to ESPN College Football, presented by Boost Infinite. We are in Harrisonburg, Virginia today for one of the biggest games of the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern goes on the road at 4-1 to take on James Madison at 5-0. The Dukes, they've got a bad taste left in their mouth after what went down last year. They were ranked in the top 25, undefeated at 5-0. It was the same time last year. This time it was at Georgia Southern, and the game flipped in the second half. A blocked punt led to a touchdown, and that would get Georgia Southern some life after James Madison responded, taking a 1-point lead. Just over a minute to go late in the game, it was Duran Burgess Jr. with the game winner, and they spoiled the undefeated season for James Madison. This year, the Dukes, they're fired up. They want revenge. It is a whiteout here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. They've had an extra week to prepare with the bye week, and after talking to coaches and players, the only thing on their mind, they want revenge. Georgia Southern, they've won the toss. They will defer. James Madison to get the ball first, and it is a touchback. James Madison will come out on offense. What's up, everybody? Welcome inside the booth alongside my partner, former Notre Dame and NFL linebacker. He's Rocky Boyman. We've got Don Davenport on the field, and I'm John Schriffen. Well, we saw what happened last year in the Open. Why is this year's game so massive?
Well, JMU was riding high last year. That loss really deflated them. They took that thing personal. It didn't feel like they played their best. Had 4 turnovers, gave up a bunch of pass yards, but we talked to this staff yesterday. They feel real confident about their game plan. These players are ready to go.
Now, Georgia Southern's got an offense. They can light it up. This is going to be a fun game today.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan McLeod, been efficient so far this season. He's got to play a 4-quarter game today.
The Dukes start on their own 25. First down, McLeod looking to throw. The quick pass is to the outside. That is complete to his dependable tight end, Zach Horton.
Yeah, it's good to get Zach Horton going early. Coach Ignetti said if there's a better player on this JMU roster, someone playing better, I'd like to know who it is. 44 does a lot for this team at that H-back position.
McLeod using some tempo. They run this hybrid run-pass option offense. He decides to give it up on the ground. That's to his running back, Kalon Black.
Yeah, a lot of RPOs. He's going to read that defense and either give the ball or pull it and throw that thing when he sees fit.
Opening drive of the game, Jordan McLeod. The last 3 weeks, third down conversions have been an issue. They've only converted on 19% of their third downs their last 3 games. They've got a 3rd and 7. McLeod pressured, hit as he throws, and he's got his man. Reggie Brown crossing over midfield. He'll be brought down, a gain of 26. What a throw by McLeod.
That's the way to get rid of those third down woes, right? First play of the game, your quarterback stands tall in the pocket, takes a shot, and hits a deep crosser across the middle. This has been a big play offense last year. Not as much for James Madison this year. That's a way to start this game off.
So it looked like Demel Hickman, wearing number 0 this week for Georgia Southern, was banged up at the end of that play. He'll be helped off and will go into the injury tent on the Georgia Southern sideline. Rocky, that was a huge throw, but also a big catch for Reggie Brown. He had 2 drops in their last game at South Alabama. They weren't able to get him going in that game. You see him target him early.
That's the thing. He's leaving defenders in the dust like all season, but sometimes he's got to remember to catch that ball. It's a way to get him going early.
So the Dukes now in Georgia Southern territory. On first down, McLeod hands this one off. Black trying to bounce it. Does get to the edge. He was patient with his run, following his blockers. It didn't look like much, but he still got 3 yards.
And it's so important for JMU to get this run game going. They want to keep this powerful Georgia Southern offense on the sideline. There's Kurt Signetti. He told us that yesterday. Want to play some ball control. Keep Davis Brin and this Georgia Southern pass offense so explosive. Keep them on the sideline.
Tyson Lawton. Now the man in the backfield. McLeod looking to throw. Has plenty of time. Green opens up in front of him, and he will rush forward enough for a first down inside the 35. Marquez Watson-Trent on the tackle.
This is where he's so dangerous, John. It's those vertical escape lanes. He sees a little daylight in front of him. When that protection starts to break down, you'll see it right here. That's all he needs, a little crease. Picks it up with his legs. That's so demoralizing for a defense. They look like they had it covered up, but he uses his legs and gets the first down.
Two running back formation now for the Dukes. Looking to pass. On first down, completes to Elijah Surratt. That's a gain of 5.
It's one of those advantage throws that coach told us about yesterday. Put a defender in conflict. He had a guy swinging, a running back swinging to the flat. Your wide receiver was in the hook. They took the flat, you throw the hook.
All right,
Great.
so explain an advantage throw. What does the quarterback have to see?
It's a lot of pre-snap. You're seeing with the defense. If they're going to give you a throw, you go ahead and you take it every time.
2nd and 5, McLeod throwing again. There's another one of those advantage throws, but it was dropped by Taji Hudson.
And you saw the defender was way off. He was playing off coverage. So, okay, you're going to play off on him. We're going to throw the ball to Zach Horton. And usually he catches that thing. But that's what you mean. But the important part about those advantage throws, they're supposed to be high percentage. And you take them because you're only going to get 4 or 5 yards. But you got to catch them every time consistently when they give it to you.
First incompletion of the game for Jordan McLeod on their opening drive. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. Black, the running back, he gets the carry. And the Eagles, they were not surprised. They were there, only a gain of 2. It'll be 4th down.
And I have to imagine that decision was made because they're going to go for it here, this area of the field. Here we go, John, a big game. In a crucial 4th down coming up right out of the gate. I think it's so important for Georgia Southern to watch the escape lanes, watch McLeod picking up this thing with his legs.
4th and 2. McLeod. That's time. Throws. Got him. That's Reggie Brown again, and he just has enough for a first down.
What a great job by McLeod keeping that thing alive. He didn't panic. He just shuffled to his left, allowed Reggie Brown to get open. You'll see he come from the right side of the field. And just watch the extension. Let him get open, let him get open. A nice big target. Reggie Brown is a 6'1", 200. Yeah, he likes that call, huh?
They said they wanted revenge. They're going for a 4th down on the first drive of the game. Here's 1st and 10. Pump fake. McLeod trying to take a shot, and he's wide open. Elijah Surratt, a 23-yard touchdown score, and James Madison strikes first.
We talked about it, John. One thing this James Madison offense has been missing is the big play, and they've got a couple early. Watch this, but this is all set up by the bubble screens. They've been throwing bubble screens all game. You'll see the number 0 right there. The defender comes up, and no one covers Elijah Surratt going down the sideline. Advantage throw, exactly. Putting the defense in conflict. Comes up to take the flat. You hit him over the top.
Camden Wise's extra point is good through the smoke. What a start for James Madison. Opening drive, they take it all the way down the field for 7. Dukes trying to stay perfect on the season. McLeod to Surratt. 7-0 JMU.
Welcome back to James Madison. The Dukes on the board first behind transfer quarterback Jordan McLeod. But head coach Kirk Cignetti has been vocal the last few weeks about how he has to have more out of his quarterback. Did not mince words during the bye week, during his teleconference when he said execution has to be better and he knows it. Doubled down on that challenge to Jordan when we talked to him this week, saying they need him to play consistently for 4 quarters to maintain that mental edge throughout the entire game. Rocky and John, coach said Jordan had a good week of practice. Can he take the next step here today? So far, so good.
That's right, Don. He responded. The kickoff by Connor Madden. DeAndre Buchanan is the deep man for Georgia Southern. And he will be stopped after he crosses the 25. Rocky, you have any issues with a coach calling out your quarterback in public?
Not at all. This isn't the feelings business. This is the results business. And whatever a coach has to do to motivate his players and get the most out of them, I think he has free reign to do that, and so far, already today, it looks like that motivation has worked for McLeod.
All right, let's talk about Georgia Southern, because this offense is electric. They are led by the Tulsa transfer, Davis Brin.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. Quick release, accurate, good anticipation on his throws. They're going to put the ball in the air about 50 times the game today. Watch out.
Jalen White, the running back, he gets the toss to the left, makes a cut. And it was a good block by Pishon Wimbley, the left guard. He lost his helmet. He'll have to go off for a play. That's a gain of 4.
Yeah, this is an offense that's going to spread the field. Same deal. They're going to throw some bubble screens, throw some stuff, short stuff out in the flat, get those receivers comfortable early, and then they're going to take some shots. And they average 13 plays of 10-plus yards a game in the pass game. They can light you up.
2nd and 7. Strong throw across the field. That's Duran Burgess Jr. And he has enough for a first down, tackled by Chauncey Logan.
Duran Burgess, guy can take the top off the defense.
First down. Brin out of the shotgun in the slot. Incomplete, through behind his receiver, Caleb Hood. Head coach for Georgia Southern, Clay Helton, in his 2nd season, former coach at USC, he said what he loves about Georgia Southern, the fan support. He said the community is awesome.
Great fan base.
They set an attendance record last week at home against Coastal Carolina. That place was rocking. 2nd down. They go to the ground. Jalen White, he will try to push that pile. They say he's the best player on this team. He picks up 5.
Well, and Clay Helton has done the impossible at Georgia Southern, a team that's rooted in the triple option throughout their history, done it for decades and decades. He comes here last year and says, no, we're going to throw the ball a bunch. And guess what? It worked, so the fan base loves it.
This is a fun offense to watch if you haven't taken a peek at the Eagles yet this season. First 3rd down of the game for Georgia Southern on their opening offensive possession on 3rd and 5. All kinds of time for Brin into traffic, and it is still caught. Katie Dorsey, what concentration he showed, reeling that ball in for a gain of 11.
Fantastic. A missed opportunity for JMU on defense. Jacob Thomas is right in that window. He reads it, jumps it, and almost comes down to it, but it gets tipped up, and Georgia Southern recovers. Wow.
Going quick on the ground. And it's probably going to be a loss of 1. As the defensive front for James Madison got that push.
And this is the strength versus strength matchup of this game. Georgia Southern leading the conference in pass yards per game. James Madison up front, John, they got dudes, right? They got guys that get after the passer. Number 1 in the Sun Belt, 23 sacks for this group on the season.
2nd and 11. Brin looking left, throwing, and incomplete. Was looking again for Dorsey. So Brin's the transfer from Tulsa. Basically similar to how they had last year, where they had a transfer from Kyle Van Treese, who set all kinds of records for Georgia Southern. Brin, he's putting up pretty good numbers already this year.
Yeah, fantastic numbers. 12 touchdowns on the season. He studied Kyle Van Treese when he came to pick up this offense this year. Big 3rd down opportunity right here.
They got one of the Dukes to jump, and this play will be blown dead. That's Jamri Chroma. First penalty of the game, and we hear from our referee, Javaro Edwards.
Yeah, these are the guys, John, I'm talking about. It's been real fun watching these folks on film this year. Jalen Green, 11 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. He is the early favorite for Conference Defensive Player of the Year in my book.
After the offsides, it's 3rd and 6. Brin, that throw underneath, he completes it to his tight end, J.J. McAfee. And McAfee has enough for a first down. He picked up 6.
These wide receivers, along with Davis Brin, are so good at finding those little holes out on that field, right? The coverage drops back, and these receivers, they're smart. They're just taught to go find some open space, and they know Davis Brin's the guy that's going to get them the ball.
You know, even with that front, of James Madison. Bryn looks so comfortable in the pocket right now.
He is, and he's getting the ball out of his hand quick, which you better do against these guys.
First down, Bryn fakes the run. Looking to take a shot downfield off the hands of his receiver, incomplete. He was looking again for Burgess Jr.
A couple times on this drive where Bryn hasn't had his usual pinpoint accuracy. That's the one thing that really stands out about him. He's 70% accuracy on the season. And one thing about James Madison on defense, last year they brought a lot of blitzing, but that's not something you want to do against Davis Bryn because the ball comes out so quick. It's going to be up to those guys to get pressure with just a four-man rush.
The Eagles going to make you work. This is the 10th play already of this drive coming up. 2nd and 10. Bryn avoids the rush, throws underneath. Burgess Jr. will be thrown out of bounds, but we do have a penalty flag on the near and the far side.
Taking down.
Ineligible man downfield. Number 9 of the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. 2nd down.
That's the tight end, J.J. McAfee.
And that was one where James Madison, they did bring a little bit of pressure. They brought D'Angelo Pons, the corner, off that side. But that's the thing, if you bring a blitz, you got to get home because Davis Bryn is so good at finding the open guy.
It's a whiteout here at James Madison. Student section is packed, making some noise on 2nd and 15. Put the man in motion. Bryn, he's looking for Hood, but overthrew his man.
For what Georgia Southern is offensively, I think so far James Madison doing a pretty good job on the back end. Early in this season, that's been the detriment of this defense, but so far they haven't given up the big play. That's the key against Georgia Southern. Here we go, another strength versus strength. Georgia Southern, one of the best in the conference on 3rd down offensively, and then on defense, JMU, one of the best.
3rd and 15. Bryn, the quick pass to the outside with Hood, and it is blown up. Nothing doing. Chris Chukwuneke, a big tackle for James Madison.
And that's what you got to do. They're going to throw these bubble screens. You got to shoot it quick, and you got to tackle in space. Chukwuneke, look, he didn't hesitate. Fought right through the blocker and made the tackle for loss. Man, I love that. Wow.
Alex Smith, he is an athletic punter. Had a fake punt last week. This one he's trying to get him pinned down close. Surratt called for the fair catch, but it goes into the end zone for a touchback. James Madison will get the ball back for the 2nd time. They've got a 7-0 lead over Georgia Southern.
ESPN College Football is presented by Boost Infinite. Get unlimited wireless and the latest iPhone every year.
James Madison is sure building something special here with this football team. College Game Day has been here twice, back in 2015 and then 2017. Those guys have fun every single week.
They do. Costumes.
It is great. When we talked to head coach Kurt Signetti, he's in his 5th year here. He talked about just the tradition, the winning tradition, the culture that they have brought here at James Madison. And now that they're here in the FBS, they want to go bigger. They have huge dreams here.
Well, yeah, and he talked about how he's had some opportunities over his long career to go be a head coach, but it had to be the perfect spot. He wanted to go to a place that wins. And guess what they do here at James Madison? They win.
2nd possession for the Dukes. McLeod throwing on the run, and he completes it to Surratt. Nice run after the catch. He'll be brought down for a gain of 26. Let's check in the studio with Kevin Connors.
All right, John, 23 straight wins for #1 Georgia, but check out the start by Vandy. Ken Seals to London Humphreys.
Early season struggles for Georgia continue. Down 7-0 on the next series. Carson Beck would fumble. Vandy would get it back.
7-0 right now. Commodores, guys.
All right, Kevin, Sam, appreciate the update there. So a new set of downs here for James Madison on first down to the ground. They call him Lottie, Tyson Lawton. New York City kid from Staten Island, went to one of the best public schools in New York City, Curtis High School. Every year, they are a power in the city with football.
Yeah, Lawton, he's one of those guys that loves contact. It's always a good thing when your running back loves contact. You got a couple good ones. They rotate in and out in this scheme. And I'll tell you what, you look back at that game last year, JMU scores first, they drive, they're getting ready to score a second time, go up 14-0, they throw a pick, and that kind of sent that game into a tailspin. If they can get another score here, they're really in the driver's seat.
2nd and 11. McLeod throwing over the middle, complete again to Brown. It was an emphasis in our meetings with the coaches, get him going. He already has some momentum and some rhythm.
No doubt, but Jordan McLeod is playing fantastic. As we discussed with Coach kind of calling him out a little bit, the thing with McLeod is just doing it for 4 quarters. You can't have these spurts where you play good during the drive and then you have 2 drives where you kind of let your guard down. It's got to be foot on the gas for 4 quarters if you play football for Kurt Signetti.
Call him out a little bit. That is kind. On first down, on the ground, Lawton, and that hole opens up. Bang down inside the 15. Lottie, what a run. He picked up 28.
What a fantastic play. They pulled 2 offensive linemen. One of them is Tyshawn Wyatt. The tackle, patient, big 52 with a kick out block. Little block downfield by Reggie Brown. This offense is straight humming right now.
That's that Staten Island toughness right there. First trip into the red zone for James Madison. McLeod looking, and a nice play defensively. That was tipped away by Seth Robertson to save a touchdown as they were looking again for Surratt.
I'm not sure if this was an RPO or not, but had he handed that ball off, I think they had a big lane. This is well covered on the outside by Robertson. Good job stepping in front, batting that ball down.
That's that quickness, the closing speed.
That's right. Got to have it if you're a cornerback in today's football.
Under 3 minutes to play here in this first quarter. Second down, they give it to the running back, Black, and he cannot get to the corner. He is upended by number 0, Demel Hickman. And Rocky, number 0 is a big honor to wear for Georgia Southern. They give it out every Thursday, a different player every week. It's for somebody who has 0 softness, 0 discipline issues, 0 selfishness, basically the ultimate team guy.
It's great. It's not necessarily your star player. It's those players that attribute those qualities you just talked about, and those players fight to get that number 0 jersey each week, and Demel Hickman showed you why on that play.
After the great tackle there, it's 3rd and 10. McLeod scanning, finds a window. How did he complete that pass? Kalon Black, touchdown, James Madison. A 15-yard strike, and that window was not very big.
He put this ball in a very, very tight window. Watch Isaac Walker, the defensive tackle to the right side. He thinks that thing is going to get picked off or batted down. He can't believe it. Number 13. And Jordan McLeod is playing fantastic right now. Tight window throws, controlling that offense, playing with energy. Wow.
Camden Wise is on for the extra point for the Dukes. It is up and good. James Madison has scored on their first 2 possessions of the game, up 14-0.
And James Madison, they go up 2 scores here. Jordan McLeod playing great, putting the ball in tight windows, leading them downfield. Number 2 likes it. 14-0 JMU.
Welcome back to Harrisonburg, Virginia. fan is loving this right now. James Madison with a 14-0 lead alongside my partner, Rocky Boyman. Don Davenport on the field. I'm John Schriffen. How about these first 2 drives by the Dukes?
I mean, they've been balanced. They've been some tight window throws, been some patience by Jordan McLeod. He's 8 for 10, 111 yards with 2 touchdowns. And maybe this is why Curt Cignetti seemed so confident yesterday when we talked to him.
He was a little excited about this.
He was excited.
That's Buchanan on the return. A nice return. Brought down from behind, just shy of the 40, but we do have a flag. Let's see what that penalty is.
During the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block, return team number 44. Half from the spot, first down, Georgia Southern.
All right, let's check back in with Kevin and Sam in the studio.
All right, John, Kyle McCord hadn't thrown a touchdown pass in 2 road games, but he does one here to Marvin Harrison Jr.
He fades away to build time away from that pressure. Marvin Harrison Jr. on the out route, the angle route, finds space.
Buckeyes missed the extra point, John, at 6-0 in West Lafayette.
All right, Kevin, appreciate that update. So Sam every week has got an Acho mind. Gives it out to the best plays around college football. I feel like we're going to get an Acho mind candidate in this game today.
We got the players to do it, right? Jordan McLeod, we got Davis Brin, who lights up scoreboards. I think there's a good chance the play will come out of this game.
I mean, that throw by McLeod was something on that last touchdown. So after the penalty on the kickoff, Georgia Southern. There's Brin trying to set up the screen, and Hood is brought down immediately, a loss of 1.
This JMU defense doing a good job of flying out of that secondary position on those shallow routes in space. Good learning about Davis Brin here this week. Coach said he draws every play, every route of every sort of play they have during that week. That's how he learns best.
And they have a lot of plays in formation.
Yes, they do.
That's a lot of drawing.
A lot of motions.
2nd and 11. Brin, the slant. Did it hit the turf? They're going to say that is a completed catch for Burgess Jr., a pickup of 7.
Good job. And you see out of Brin, like when he sees it, he pulls the trigger. Yeah, it looked like that ball was a catch. Had the right hand underneath it. Now they're going to look at it.
Did the nose of the ball touch the turf?
Yeah, you said it, John. Did the nose of that ball? We got one look at it. It's just a matter of, I think the ball certainly hit the turf. It's a matter of did the turf aid in the catch of the ball? Looks like that ball might have popped up a little bit.
So replay official, Steve Jost, is up above, talking to Javaro Edwards, our referee, to see if Burgess got his hands underneath. Now, it was called a catch on the field. Are you seeing anything that could overturn it?
I'm seeing a little bit, especially right as the end, as he's looking to secure the catch. I mean, right there, he's got it in and pulling it into his body. But as he starts to roll, you see that ball moving a little bit. As you mentioned, though, the call on the field was a catch, so it's got to be indisputable video evidence. That could go either way, in my opinion.
Because it's inconclusive, do you feel like it would stand?
That's what they should do. Is if it doesn't jump off the screen, then you should stick with the call on the field. That way, the game isn't being officiated from the booth; it's being done on the field. I think this one, by that rule, there is going to stand.
After review, the ruling of a catch stands. 3rd down. The game clock will start on my signal.
How about some hockey? Our next ESPN NHL doubleheader Tuesday night. Steven Stamkos and the Lightning are in Buffalo taking on Tage Thompson and the Sabres at 7:30 Eastern. Then the Seattle Kraken host Nathan McKinnon, the Avalanche at 10. Coverage begins with a point at 6 Eastern on ESPN2.
Interested to see if JMU decides to bring a little bit of pressure, even if they just bring 5 to try to get after Davis Brin.
3rd and 4. They bring 4. Brin gets it away, and that extra effort by Caleb Hood, that's enough for a first down. He picked up 6.
You mentioned it. I mean, that was short of the first down, but it was Caleb Hood not going down and able to get the first down. And how about Caleb Hood? And that's his 40th reception on the season for the 5th-year senior, playing real well.
New set of downs for Georgia Southern. Brin looking left, throwing across the field, and it was incomplete. It was intended for Dorsey. But Chauncey Logan, if he had recognized where the ball was, that could have been a pick 6.
That's what I'm saying. That is a low percentage throw that's far into the outside part of the field to pick up, what, 5 yards? I mean, you're taking a risk there. That cornerback could easily step in front of that. That's something to watch as this game goes on if they keep trying that route.
4 seconds to play here in this first quarter. That's Burgess Jr. in motion. Brin out of the shotgun, that quick throw again. He completes it. The catch to his tight end is McAfee. And that'll do it for the first quarter. James Madison with a 14-0 lead. We'll hear from their head coach after this.
Welcome back to James Madison here with head coach Kurt Signetti. Coach, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. What are you pleased with most offensively?
Yeah, and a stop on defense. We've converted 3rd downs, made explosive plays, and it's a good start. Got to get them off the field here on defense, so got to keep playing.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach Signetti talked about it. A big 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 3 for the Eagles. They give it to White, and he's got a hole. That right side of that offensive line just opened up wide. Aiden Fisher brought him down, not after a gain of 18.
And for a team that passes the ball so much, one of their best players is Jalen White, their running back, because he can do that. He didn't get a ton of opportunities, but he makes every one of them count.
And that one is dropped by Anthony Quealy.
Yeah, that was a great play call right there. You could tell JMU was expecting the pass in that situation. Brought a little pressure up the middle, and Jalen White found that window off to the right side.
It's got to be a good sign for Georgia Southern to see Jalen White with that burst. He's been banged up. Last week, they weren't even sure he was going to play, gutted it out. But this week in practice, they've seen him heal, and he's had a quickness they haven't seen from him in a while.
And they need it. I mean, he's an exceptional player. 2nd
and 10, Brin to the left side. That is complete to Quealy. And Quealy is wrapped up immediately by Chauncey Logan, picked up 4.
So far, JMU doing a good job of tackling the catch. As soon as they make it, they're going to complete some balls out in space. But can you one-on-one make a tackle and not let a guy slip one and go the distance? So far, so good.
Empty backfield on 3rd and 6. Brin pressured, and he is sacked. Multiple white jerseys in the backfield, a loss of 5. They're going to give it to James Carpenter on the sack.
And it was just our 4-man rush. James Carpenter, 99. You see him with the pressure, and he just pushed the lineman, Crowder, back into the lap of Brin. It tripped him up. James Carpenter, not the biggest defensive lineman in the world, but he is one of the top defensive tackles in this conference. High motor, plays with his hair on fire, and you saw it right there.
Alex Smith, a low punt as he tries to angle it towards the sideline. And that one will be downed at the 11. So another stop on D for James Madison. Their offense gets it back, up by 2 scores.
Kevin and Sam want to beat Michigan. Get creative. This is Brendan Sorsby to Donovan McCulley to Jalen Lucas.
Indiana's coming off of a bye week. What do you do during your bye week? You watch film and see a weakness of your team and dial up a play to expose it.
7-0 Hoosiers in the Big House, John.
I appreciate that. We welcome you back to ESPN College Football, presented by Boost Infinite. This is avocados from Mexico tailgate week. I could go for a little guacamole right now.
Yeah.
The Dukes, worst starting field position from their own 11. They run it on the ground with Kalon Black. And Dawn's opening report was about head coach Curt Cignetti calling out his quarterback publicly. Part of him calling out was saying he has these lapses in the middle of the game where he will kind of make mistakes, disappear, questioning his conditioning. Well, it's parts of the game like right now here in the second quarter.
That's right. You're up 14-0. Things are going really, really well. Do you let your foot off the gas? Coach Cignetti called it a sense of relaxation comes over him at times when you can't have that, not at the quarterback position.
2nd and 7. Phoenix Sproles. A nice run after the catch. They set up the screen to perfection. He picked up 15 and a first down.
Very diverse play calls JMU has. They run the ball up the middle, and then they hit the perimeter. Watch Zach Horton, the tight end on the outside, with a nice kick-out block. Sproles reads it perfectly, picks up the first down.
McLeod calling out the protection on first down. And we have a flag.
Still first down.
That's the right tackle, Tyler Stevens. For James Madison, they've been in a lot of tight ball games, except for that first one. Jordan McLeod wasn't even the starter in that game. Originally, they gave it to Alonzo Barnett as the starter, originally quarterback number 1. But then they've been in close games pretty much ever since.
There's two ways to look at that. One, okay, they can't maybe close some games out, but the other side of it is, hey, this team is battle hard, and they know how to hang in there and no matter what, get that win.
After the penalty, 1st and 15. McLeod with time, slings it across the field. Amir Knight will be pushed out of bounds after he crosses the 30. I was actually kind of surprised you didn't take exception to the coach calling out a player in public.
Not at all. No, I'm a results-driven guy, and whatever it takes to motivate someone, I think you have full reign to go ahead and do that. Again, this isn't about people's feelings. This is football. This is about getting results, and coaches try a lot of things. I'm sure he talked to him privately, maybe didn't get the result. Then he goes to the other players, say, hey, come on, get McLeod going. That didn't work. What is your option? Go to the media. Go to the public with it a little bit. And so far, it looks like it's working out well for him.
Now, these are still student athletes, not professional football. 2nd and 9. McLeod. He finds his tight end, Zach Horton. Even though Curt Cignetti calls it business-like, he runs his program like a business, these guys aren't pros.
Yeah, well, a little bit. In the age of the NIL, these athletes are a little bit more towards professional than certainly they used to be. And I don't think it was that out of line at all. I think it was perfectly warranted to say, hey, the guy needs to play better, needs to prepare a little bit better. And if at the end of the day his feelings were hurt, but he plays better and this team wins, it's all worth it.
If our bosses at ESPN did that, how would you feel?
Hey, I like that. Give me the hard truth and give me it every single time so I can get better.
3rd and 6 across the middle. And that's Surratt again. Still on his feet. Brought down just shy of the 30 in Georgia Southern Territory. Prince Green on the stop. A pickup of 37.
And I could sense that JMU was looking for that big play, and they finally got it. And McLeod, same thing, hung in that pocket, waited, and then released a nice throw over the middle. And Surratt has been doing a lot of damage after the catch here today.
Elijah Surratt now up to 91 yards on the game. We're still here in this first half. Lawton, the running back, good protection, picks up the blitzer, looking end zone, incomplete, and here comes a late flag. Surratt was tangled with the defender, Seth Robertson.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
And I like this decision. You're up 14-0. Let's try to put the nail in the coffin here and take a deep shot, especially to Surratt, who's on fire. And the problem is Robertson didn't get his head turned around. That left hand was pulling on that jersey, and that's where we saw the flag.
Usually when you see the shoulder pads exposed,
yeah,
that's a good sign of defenders are tugging at that jersey. 1st and 10 on the ground. This is Lawton. Lawton will bang forward, mark down inside the 10 at the 9, picked up 6.
And as we talked about, just being able to maintain the ball for JMU is keeping Davis Brin in that quick strike offense on the sideline. Look at that clock just ticking away. Just how you write it up here for Kurt Signetti.
3 ride with the tight end at the bottom of the screen now going in mode. Well, everybody's making the switch now. 2nd and 4 from the 9. McLeod to his tight end, Horton. And Horton will be tackled at the 4. That's enough for a first down.
And John, I love this play because I hated it as a linebacker when I was playing, because you're seeing Zach Horton come across. He's going to kick that end out. Nope, he slips underneath him, and he got a wide open guy in the flat. So hard to cover.
They're going quick on the ground to Lawton. And maybe picked up 1 there on first down.
Zach Horton, movable piece, moves around, catches balls in the flat, blocks well. He's the real key to this offense, number 44 there.
McLeod has been the key so far for the Dukes. On this drive alone, perfect 5 for 5, 66 yards. He's looking at a 2nd and goal here. And it looks like we're going to have a James Madison timeout.
Timeout. James Madison. It is their first.
We will step aside. James Madison looking to punch it in again when we come back.
ESPN College Football presented by Boost Infinite, and this is Tailgate Week. Presented by Avocados from Mexico. Always good.
Sorry about my fingers. Just don't eat the toothpick, man.
Great scene outside in Harrisburg, Virginia. What is that? A little something special wrapped in bacon?
Anything wrapped in bacon is phenomenal, so I am all for it.
We just had a mascot showdown.
It's pretty good.
I don't know who won, but because they choreographed it, I'm going to give some props to both James Madison and Georgia Southern mascots. Ninth play of the drive coming up here on 2nd and goal. McLeod looking to pass, and he missed his man. Black, wide open, incomplete.
And you can't draw it up any better. You catch Georgia Southern in man coverage. The linebacker who's covering the back can't get over the top. And Jordan McLeod, look, he knows that's one I missed. That's one of those lapses that coach may be talking about. Got to hit that wide open guy.
Those are those mistakes that are still creeping in for Jordan McLeod. Now it's 3rd and goal. Sproles in motion. McLeod looking right. Now he's going to try to take off. Does he have a lane? He is dropped. Marquez Watson Trent. A loss of 2. And the field goal team will come on.
And that's a win right there for Georgia Southern. Marquez Watson Trent, number 5 in the Sun Belt Conference in tackles. Look, commanding traffic here, and this is what you got to do. You got to shut down Jordan McLeod when he tucks and runs. This is interesting. Now can Georgia Southern take some momentum off that big stop there and get their offense going?
Camden Wise is a perfect 7 for 7 on the season. This one from 23 yards out. And he stays perfect. 8 for 8. What a weapon Camden Wise has been this season for James Madison. It has been all Dukes to start it. They're up 17-0. Up to 17-0 on Georgia Southern. All season long, student sections across the country, they are competing to be Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Rocky, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes late at night, had a few choice beverages. I still love me some Taco Bell,
Who
man.
doesn't?
Just
man?
pull up through the drive-thru.
Always comes through.
So after Georgia Southern defense held them to a field goal, let's see if their offense can use some of that momentum. First, we check in the studio with Kevin and Sam.
All right, John and Rocky, AT&T 5G is keeping fans connected with our multi-view, some second screen viewing options. Florida State just went up 17-3 on Syracuse. You see the replay, Jordan Travis finding Keon Coleman. Arkansas, Alabama, 14-6 game. Jalen Milroe, a touchdown pass and run on ESPN. John?
About Florida State taking it to him already. Thank you, Kevin, for the update. So Georgia Southern looking for their first points of the ball game. They start from their own 25. Jake Arnold. They're throwing downfield. That's the tight end, Keaton Upshaw. Upshaw will rumble past midfield. A good pickup on first down, a gain of 27.
Way to start a drive. You haven't had a real big play the whole game, so start off with a shot, curve your tight end right up the seam. Now here they are back in the ball, snapping it quick.
Here comes some tempo. They go back to Upshaw.
And this is why Georgia Southern is never out of it. I mean, look, 2 plays are already down on the 35-yard line. I feel like about 10 seconds is ticked off the clock.
There's 7 minutes to play in this first half. Showing pressure. Bryn could not get away. Jalen Green. He is finally getting his opportunity to be the guy, and man, has he shown out this season for James Madison.
He's been fantastic. Bring Taris Jones, a linebacker, off the outside. And you see big number 10 involved. Just kind of a little stutter step, and he just stays with it. Continues pushing towards that quarterback. Can't stop your feet. Keep pressure and condensing that pocket. Good job by Green.
Jalen Green leads the Sun Belt in sacks. That loss of 7, 2nd and 17. Delayed handoff to White, and just tripped up. What a tackle by Mikhail Kamara.
Wow, Kamara made a huge play there because it looked like White was off to the races. JMU's done a good job of this, keeping them 3rd and long. This is a 3rd and 12. Got to find Caleb Hood here. He's in the slot to the top of the screen. That's the go-to guy.
First 3rd down of the drive. Bryn looking to set up the screen to White. And White will be stopped short of the 30. Aiden Fisher was there, a gain of 6.
Good job of staying home. So much eye candy. This offense has guys going this way and they're motion that way. They come back across. Watch number 7, Jarius Romanecki. As the ball's thrown back, he stays home, fights off 2 blockers, and comes up and stops the forward progress by Jalen White. Phenomenal play.
Georgia Southern 80% on 4th downs this season. They lead the Sun Belt. They're staring down a 4th and 6. Bryn across the field, complete to Hood. Got to get a little extra. And it looks like he's got it. That is a first down. Caleb Hood was short and then pushed forward for that first down.
That's what I'm saying. You got to find Caleb Hood because he can just make things happen. Fighting for extra yardage.
Bryn's going quick. Pump fake. Now takes a shot. Incomplete. Jalen Walker had his hands on it. He's been out the last 3 weeks. He returns at linebacker.
He timed it perfectly, and he's right there, make that play. Oh, what a missed opportunity for JMU to shut down Georgia Southern's best drive of the game. He's smiling. He knows, give me another shot at that one, Coach. I'll make it.
Second and 10. Inside handoff with White. He gained 1. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Pretty good job. I mean, James Madison, first couple plays of this drive to give up a ton of yards, but they're bowing up down in this area of the field. Here's another 3rd down. Now, last time on 3rd down, they brought pressure. They brought a linebacker to bring a total of 5. We'll see what they do here.
And 9. Bryn looking end zone. Incomplete. Joshua Thompson had a chance, but he couldn't haul it in.
Good coverage by Brent Austin there, but that ball is just a little high and a little behind. I feel like Bryn's been off just a tick here today. I mean, look at that ball. If that ball's right out in front, where's wide receiver Thompson can get it, that might be a touchdown, but it's back behind him and high. We've seen that a couple times out of Bryn here today. He's been normally so accurate.
So Michael Lance, who is 9 of 12 on the season, will come on. This will be a 43-yard field goal attempt. His long on the season is 48. Lance, his kick on the way. And it just gets over the crossbar. So Georgia Southern on the board. They trail at 17-3.
Kevin Connors in studio. Coming up on the AT&T 5G halftime report, we'll take a look at the top 4 teams in college football, all in action, one being tested right now in their home stadium. Plus, Sam Acho with a unique look at the battle for Seattle, Oregon, and Washington later today, and the continued maturation of Jalen Milroe coming up when you join us, John, at the half.
All right, Kevin, appreciate that. How good is that game in Seattle going to be?
Oh, my God. Phenomenal.
Oregon, Washington coming up later. So Georgia Southern, after kicking the field goal, they will kick things away. And this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate. Well, this defense for Georgia Southern, the last time they've allowed an opponent to score on their first 3 possessions, we're going to go back to August of 2019. That's when LSU scored on their first 5 possessions. That was that LSU team that won the national championship, quarterbacked by
Joe Burrow.
That's right.
There you go, of course. I'm a Cincinnati native. Sorry I was distracted there for a second, but yeah, gotta get my guy Joey B in the game. But, you know, this Georgia Southern defense, I mean, they're leading the Sun Belt in scoring defense. They played well all year.
Lawton goes in motion on first down. McLeod throws over the middle. That's his roommate, Phoenix Sproles. And when you're roommates with the quarterback, kind of got to be on the same page, right? Like, give me the ball.
I'll say it again. I don't know why every wide receiver isn't clamoring to become the roommate with the quarterback. Hey, you want to throw me the ball?
First down, taking a shot, and incomplete. They were looking for Brown.
And you see JMU taking some timely shots here, which I like. I think it's a good idea. Just try to really put this game away if you can. Jordan McLeod, real nice first half. And as we've talked about and we'll continue to talk about, because it is the story with this team and this offense, it's Jordan McLeod with the consistency, keeping that foot on the gas, playing well, not for a quarter here, a quarter there, but all game.
Does have 8 completions of 10 or more yards. On second down, the screen pass to Sproles. Sproles with some moves. And even a simple pass like that, you see the pickup now. He get 9 yards, a nice run after catch.
Yeah, it's a pass that you gain, what, one yard, maybe 0, but after the catch, you pick up that 9, and that was all brought on by some great blocking on the outside. Elijah Sherratt, that's a hard block. You got to hold that block for about 4 or 5 seconds. He did just that.
Once again, that's that advantage throw that the quarterback has to recognize, get it out quick. 3rd and short. It's a run with Dollison, and Dollison showing the burners. Oh, Marion Dollison picked up 26, brought down by Bartholomew.
I love how quick this play hits. Ball snap, handed off, bang, to the corner. And again, here's our guy, Zach Horton, on the outside, making the key block once again. And that's so hard on defense. You're kind of getting your bearings, where's the play going, and before you even know what happened, that ball is on the edge.
2 minutes to play here in this first half. McLeod is in control right now. That one is dropped through the hands of Surratt.
Look it in, make that catch, then get upfield.
You know the Dukes, they want to take those underneath passes, the easy passes. If you're Georgia Southern, how do you take those away without being exposed on the back end?
Well, the key is you're going to be one-on-one, right? So your guy on defense has got to make that tackle by himself, right? You got to tackle in space. You can't allow those shorter routes for a guy to break one and take it the distance.
2nd and 10. McLeod, he's looking end zone. And almost a one-handed catch by Brown. Rocky, once again, that's that one-on-one coverage. That would have been a tough catch.
Yeah, they're trying to take those shots here. Bartholomew with real nice coverage on the outside, gets the hand up. He had a little hand on the left shoulder, but nothing egregious to me at all. I think that's a nice defensive play. And Reggie Brown just looked like he just couldn't get that left arm up to aid in the catch.
That's just the first time today we've seen consecutive incomplete passes from Jordan McLeod. Third and 10. And that one incomplete. Yamir Knight.
Looks like it was actually pretty well thrown. Had to get it up high to lob it over the defender, but wasn't able to come down with it.
So after scoring touchdowns on their first 2 drives, they're now going to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing there, John, too, is it leaves 1:37 on this clock. You'd like to milk that clock down a little bit more and not give Georgia Southern that time, because they can score so quick.
So Wise is made from 23. This one is a career-long 46-yard field goal. Camden Wise, perfect 9 for 9 on the season.
It's a great way to put a cap on a drive that started off good and then just kind of stalled a little bit, but JMU getting points for the 4th straight time on drives here today.
Well, we talked about it. One of the biggest games of the day. It's on ABC and the ESPN app at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Bo Nix and number 8 Oregon Ducks, they square off against Michael Penix Jr. and the number 7 Washington Huskies. Man, you know Husky Stadium will be rocking. This one will have an impact on the Pac-12 title race. And those receivers for Washington, they are something.
Something else. Michael Penix, 400 pass yards per game. They have 39 completions of 20-plus yards, and that is all due to those guys you see right there. They are explosive at the wide receiver position.
It is a shame the Pac-12 is going away, but man, this final season, this is going to be epic.
Going out with a bang. I mean, they really are. I mean, far and away, in my opinion, the best conference in college football right now. Electric.
So Georgia Southern with 1:31 to work with. They have all 3 timeouts remaining here in this first half.
And John, head coach Clay Helton pointed that out to his offense just now. He said, we're still right here. You get this score. Remember, we get the ball back to start the second half, too. Davis Brin with no panic on this bench down here.
And, Don, that's an excellent point. And we talk about how Georgia Southern never out of it because how quickly they scored. But, yeah, you can get some points here in a half that's been dominated by James Madison. You get some points at the end, get the ball coming out of half, back in it.
See what Davis Brin can do here to close out this first half. Avoids pressure, finds an open receiver, Anthony Quealy. And a big completion on first down. They get 18.
And Georgia Southern is starting to find something in that middle of the field, that deep intermediate middle of the field. Something they're probably going to go back to.
Brin, that quick pass, that's Burgess Jr. tackled inbounds. And Georgia Southern's going to use their first time out here in this half.
Timeout, Georgia Southern. It is their first. It will be 30 seconds.
All right, so while Georgia Southern talks it over, how about Monday Night Football? Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, the rest of the crew will be at SoFi Square. All right, so they'll be at SoFi Stadium for what should be a good one. Justin Herbert and the Chargers, they host Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes. And how about this? In celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, ESPN Deportes telecast will have Rebecca Landa's call. That will be on ESPN2.
Very good. And a couple good players there for the Chargers and for For Dallas, what defense is going to show up? The one that's just shut out the Giants and the Jets, or the one that gave up, what, 42 points to the Niners last week?
Niners are putting up points on everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
2nd and 5. Bryn sets up the screen. Hood. He'll be tackled a yard short as the clock continues to run.
Nice job. Got to tackle in space against offensive attacks like this and try to get the ball out there. Good job, Chauncey Logan.
Under 50 seconds to play in this first half.
In the middle of the field here.
Handoff is to O.J. Arnold, and he did not get it. He is stopped short, and a timeout.
Timeout. Georgia Southern. It is their second. It will be 30 seconds.
Georgia Southern must have forgot that James Madison is the #1 rush defense in the nation. They only give up 38 yards per game on the ground. And look at those guys up front, just holding blocks. No white jersey, getting pushed back, and then the cavalry comes, seals up those gaps. Great stuff.
All right, Rock, if you're Clay Helton and Georgia Southern, you just call a timeout. It's 4th and 1. What are you looking to run here?
I'm trying to find Caleb Hood. My best wide receiver is the best guy in space. They do so well with motion and finding ways to get guys open. He only needs a little bit of space. Get that ball to him. Pick up a first down. Changing the play.
4th and 1, the quarterback sneak. And Bryn gets the first down himself, and quickly Clay Helton calls his final timeout.
Timeout. Georgia Southern. It is their third. It will be 30 seconds.
Good job with the sneak there. Only need a little bit of time.
Well, both Georgia Southern and James Madison have quite the pedigree coming up from the FCS ranks. They were just running through competition. So many titles between both of these schools.
And Irk Russell back in those triple option days. Paul Johnson running that attack. And then James Madison, of course, 2 national championships. Both these schools, again, programs just with histories of winning, right? All the time throughout the decades, and they've both made the jump. And both these programs have definitely held their own, and they're excelling here at the FBS level.
Georgia Southern out of timeouts, 35 seconds to play in this first half. Bryn looking downfield, and there's that man you talked about. Caleb Hood opened up the middle of the field. Now the clock will stop momentarily, but it'll start once they spotted a gain of 19.
Middle of the field, they're finding something there.
Bryn, he will clock it to stop the clock at 27 seconds.
And James Madison playing a lot of too high, which means those safeties are getting back to the halves of the field, which leaves the middle open. So starting to open up. I look for Georgia Southern to keep exploiting that. James Madison either got to get some pressure on Bryn or put a guy back in that middle to shut that throw down.
With no timeouts, is the middle of the field still open for this offense?
I think so, because they operate so quickly that they're used to it. They can get up to the ball and snap it again with only a few seconds.
Second and 10. Bryn scanning over the middle. Tipped away, incomplete. D'Angelo Pons got his hand on it for James Madison.
And there it is, what I talked about. They put Jacob Thomas. He's now in the middle of the field, and he was right on the inside as they're trying to bend that thing in. Watch 27 come out of the screen. Right there. He's there to either pop that receiver or make a play on the ball. Great job of adjusting by JMU.
Third and 10. Bryn with time. And Hood bails him out again. The clock will stop momentarily. It'll start again now that the ball is spotted. Here's Bryn under center. And he stops the clock with 14 seconds to play in this first half.
Wow. There's 2 James Madison defenders around Hood there, and he's able to come down with the ball.
Georgia Southern on third downs of 10 or more. They are perfect 3 for 3 today. And that was Caleb Hood bailing them out. You got to remember, Rocky, no timeouts here.
No timeouts. Davis Brin cannot take a sack. You got to throw that ball away or find a receiver.
Brin, fade route, end zone. And he didn't give his receiver, Burgess Jr., a chance. Incomplete.
There's certainly enough time here to run another play. Well, big moments of the game. Find your best players. Where's number 7? If I'm James Madison defense, I'm looking for him. He's at the top of the screen. Caleb Hood in the slot.
This is the 12th play of the drive with just 10 seconds. If you're Georgia Southern, you cannot get tackled inbounds. 3rd and goal. Brin, incomplete. Was looking for Quealy in the back of the end zone.
There was nothing going there in the middle of the field. A couple defenders, Jacob Thomas in there. Davis Brin frustrated, had an opportunity here. But look at the white jerseys just converging on that middle there. They knew that Georgia Southern found a little bit of hay there and they were going to stop it.
So Michael Lance is on. He's already made one today. This one is from 27. And Lance's kick is good. He adds 3 more right before halftime for Georgia Southern.
So they didn't get the touchdown, but still successful. They get the field goal, and as we mentioned, they'll get the ball coming out of halftime here.
It was a hot start for James Madison. They scored 2 touchdowns on their first 2 possessions, then started settling for field goals as Georgia Southern closes the gap before the half. 20-6, James Madison leads it now. Let's send it to the AT&T halftime report with Kevin and Sam.
You're watching Tailgate Week, presented by
Avocados from Mexico.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Boost Infinite. A whiteout here at James Madison, and the Dukes took control in that first half. We take a look at our halftime stats. James Madison with a 20-6 lead right now over Georgia Southern. As we welcome you back upstairs inside the booth. What's up, everybody? Alongside my partner, former Notre Dame and NFL linebacker, he's Rocky Boyman. I'm John Triffin. Don Davenport is on the field. She'll join us in a moment. All right, the big story heading into this one, Jordan McLeod. How would he respond after being called out publicly by his coach? 4 possessions. They've scored points on every drive.
Yeah, he came out of the gate smoking. This entire JMU offense did. And Jordan McLeod must have got the message during the week. So here it is, first drive of the game. He get the score to Surratt to set the tone. And then on the second drive of the game, he hits his running back, Kalen Black, up the middle. And they're up 14-0. Chance, John, to go up 21-0. But then just a little bit short, maybe a little lapse there. Coach Signetti comes up to him and says, hey, settle down, keep playing the way you've been all half here. But that's the key. McLeod needs to put a great second half up here, keep this game going.
Georgia Southern will get the ball first to start this third quarter. And we check in with Dawn.
Well, guys, we know JMU head coach Kirk Signetti does not mince words, and he did not at halftime when talking to his team about their lapses in the third quarter. His message to his guys, he told me, do you know what they're saying in that locker room? They're saying JMU can't play a third quarter. They're saying JMU will choke. They're saying JMU can't handle the pressure. Let's go prove them wrong. Now, uncharacteristic third down defense from Georgia Southern in this game, guys. Head coach Clay Helton feels that is why his offense hasn't been able to find rhythm. They need more opportunities, and when they get them, they got to finish those drives.
All right, good stuff, Dawn. As Davis Brin, he has been effective moving the ball, but has not been able to punch it in yet today. Brin had to wait as he found his window. He converts to Caleb Hood as he gets 4 yards.
Great job in coverage there by Jalen Walker. Lineman go low, knock that defensive line down, a little dump route. Remember, Georgia Southern in that first half was starting to find some explosive plays in the middle of that field. JMU, toward the end of the half, did a good job shoring that up. We'll see what they go back to.
That play goes nowhere. K.D. Dorsey, a loss of 4.
Great job. Georgia Southern's trying to get to that corner quick, but Kamara, talk about the athleticism on this defensive line. That's a wide receiver in space, and he attacks and makes the play.
First drive of this third quarter. And Davis Brin is staring down 3rd and 11.
A lot of 3rd and longs for Georgia Southern in this game.
Brin completes. His guy Hood took a shot right at the marker. That's a first down. Jalen Walker, the guy who popped him.
How Caleb Hood comes down with this thing is amazing. I mean, that's a defensive guy, a free runner, actually a linebacker, hitting him right in the gut, and I think he actually popped him forward for the first down. Caleb Hood, incredible, one of the Sun Belt's best wide receivers.
Brin pressured. That could have been ugly. Jalen Green was up in the grill of Brin.
Yeah, that's certainly, and we're going to throw that ball to Pishon Wimbley, the left guard. One thing we've talked about in the first half, I think, if you're looking at the reasons why Georgia Southern has struggled, it's just Davis Brin, it just hasn't been quite as accurate as he normally is. Now, that's a good job of JMU on defense of sniffing that screen out, but Davis Brin, 70% accuracy coming into this game. He's got to dial that thing back in.
Elijah Walton, the tight end, in motion. Brin across the field. His receiver, Burgess Jr., had to come back to it. Tiptoes the sideline, and he picked up 4. For Brin this year, the only game he really struggled was that Wisconsin game. 3rd game of the season on the road. 5 interceptions in that game, and then the coaching staff challenged him. How would he respond? Well, the next 2 weeks, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And that shows his maturity. That's exactly what you want. As a quarterback, you're going to have those days where things just flat don't go right. Can you bounce back? He's done that the last 2 weeks. He's got to get his team back in this ball game.
Third and 7. Here comes the blitz. Brin gets rid of it. Ball is out, and they're going to say incomplete. Burgess never had it. Jalen Walker again, a strong tackle.
I feel like there's 3 number 5s out there. Jalen Walker's been in on about every play. That dude is everywhere. He's their fastest linebacker, but look at this. And you can see why they wanted to get Jalen Walker back in this game, because his speed, his ability to cover receivers in space, and those holes, those wide receivers like to sit down for Georgia Southern. He's playing a heck of a ball game.
Alex Smith, the Australian, punts this one away to Surratt. Fields it inside his 20. Trying to find a lane on the outside. And will be driven out of bounds shy of the 30. So James Madison gets a defensive stop. They will get their first touch on offense in the second half when we come back. Joining us here, ESPN College Football presented by Boost Infinite. This is Avocados from Mexico Tailgate Week. The fans, well, they were tailgating hard before this one. Late arriving crowd, but they have filled the stadium here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And James Madison, he put up 20 points in the first half, but you look at the differential, first half versus second half in season scoring. And
this is what Kurt Chenet's been talking about, the laws that, coming out right out of the gate fast, but then the second half, letting your guard down, see if they can get it going.
McLeod on the move. Dishes it off to Sproles. Gets a few more yards. Does not go out of bounds. That extra effort by Phoenix Sproles. He got 15.
And I like that. Preaching all week about starting the second half strong. Give your quarterback a nice, easy, high percentage throw. Get his confidence going in this third quarter.
James Madison, one of 14 unbeaten teams left here in the FBS. They had a 5-0 record heading into Georgia Southern last year when Georgia Southern shocked them. McLeod, he's got a man deep. Incomplete. That was the running back, Kalon Black. Over his shoulder, couldn't reel it in.
McLeod says that was on me. It was kind of funky how it looked. I'm not sure if Kalon Black got a little bit just deceived where that ball was. I guess it was a little bit back on the back shoulder. And that's the thing. You throw to a wide receiver, they're used to catching the ball. They can make that adjustment. Running back, it's a little bit more difficult.
So Lawton now the running back. He will get the kick. No, it's a keeper by McLeod, and there's so much space on that outside due to a good block downfield by wide receiver Elijah Surratt. A pickup of 12.
I mean, Elijah Surratt has been great today, catching the ball and blocking. Look at that, riding that play fake down. And we talked about the athleticism of Jordan McLeod. He escapes pressure. He can pick up those yards with his legs.
Surratt just locked up his man.
And that's the toughest block out there. One-on-one, no one else around. You got to hold that thing for 4 or 5 seconds.
On first down, McLeod keeps it again, rolling out to his right, throwing on the move, and Surratt couldn't reel it in. That one maybe thrown a little behind him, incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like it was on the back hip of Surratt. Get that ball out in front of your receiver where he can catch it. McLeod's saying, that's on me again.
What do you make of the body language you're seeing from McLeod?
I think it looks, I mean, look, he looks positive. Like, you know, I mean, you make a bad play, you're not going to be jumping for joy here. But I think he looks positive. Looks like he's in command. He's made some good plays. He's got to, you know, put that bad one out of his mind here and go pick this one up.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. They set up the screen to Reggie Brown. Brown with some good blocking out in front. He had his wide receiver Sproles leading the way on the block. He picks up 9. That's an easy throw for McLeod.
And if you're going to live by these short throws in the flat, you've got to have the blocking on the perimeter, and this team does. Sproles, Horton with some great blocks, as we mentioned, long blocks that take a while. Let your wide receiver do the rest.
So Sproles will come off. He'll get a breather as the tight end Kai Wright will come on. Looking at the first 3rd down of this drive on 3rd and 1. Handoff, and the ball is loose. James Madison jumps back on top of it, but they lost 4.
And it looked like in the exchange, I don't know if it was a little bit low, but Black was trying to cradle that thing right from the beginning. It squirts out, and luckily there's Cole Potts there to get it. Looked like it might have been a little bit low, maybe to the outside hip too much, but couldn't get it.
So Lawton lost it. Cole Potts jumped on top of it. The first punt of the day for Ryan Hansen.
So first drive of the 3rd quarter comes up empty for JMU.
Hood, the deep man, will let it go over his head, and that just checked up to perfection. Down at the 2. Both defenses coming up with stops on the opening drives here to start this 3rd quarter. James Madison with a 20-6 lead right now over Georgia Southern. All right, let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by AT&T 5G. You take a look at some of the early games going on right now, but go to the bottom. Number 10, USC. Rocky's got his eyes all over that game at Notre Dame tonight.
Yeah, Notre Dame looked bad last week. Credit Louisville, who played great. And you got Caleb Williams for USC coming in. Notre Dame better run the ball and keep that guy on the sideline.
Welcome you back here to Harrisonburg, Virginia, alongside Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport on the field, and John Schriffing. Georgia Southern, their worst starting field position of the day from their own 2 after that incredible punt. Jalen White, the running back to the left of Bryn. Now Bryn's going to call out the protection. Here's the pressure from James Madison. Incomplete pass. Hood couldn't reel it in.
James Madison's done a good job today of bringing pressure at certain spots. You can't bring pressure all the time because Bryn gets the ball out of his hand, but here and there, just enough to maybe get Bryn off the spot. I like that call.
Second and 10 from their own 2. Bryn scanning, throwing, dangerous throw, incomplete. Chauncey Logan with the hit stick. My goodness.
And there was a little bit of pressure right in Bryn's face. He couldn't really step into that throw. So it came out soft to the perimeter and about got his wide receiver killed. I mean, look at Jalen Green popping up off the ground and getting pressure, and then a big stick on the outside by Chauncey Logan.
Third and 10, here comes the blitz. Incomplete, batted down at the line of scrimmage by James Carpenter, big number 99.
James Carpenter, we've talked about him, just a phenomenal football player. He knows the game, he's great in situations. Watch him be patient on this. He knows where Bryn wants to go with that football. He backs out and waits on it and times it up perfectly. This is just good football. You work on them hands a little bit, he might have had an interception for a touchdown for about 6 inches.
Man, those hands are for lifting weights.
That's right.
Game clock operator, please put 9:15 on the clock, and it will start on the snap.
Guys, you are talking about that pressure. James Carpenter told me this week that they have to get quickly to him to win quickly because they knew that they would try to get the ball out quickly. Exactly what they just did on that drive.
That's right.
Here's Alex Smith, the back of his end zone, looking to punt it away for Georgia Southern. First 3 and out for either team. He gets it away quickly as Surratt fields it. What has he got on the return? He is upended shy of the 35. But how about this starting field position? The best of the day for the Dukes.
This is great. You remember in that game last year, JMU had a punt block by Georgia Southern, kind of broke this game open. Special teams today for JMU has really come up well. The perfect on field goals. And as you mentioned, that down in that punt inside the 1-yard line gives them this great field position.
Look at their drives today. They scored on their first 4 drives. That was all in the first half. And then their first drive here in this third quarter, they punted it away.
Okay, so some good, some bad on that first drive by JMU. Ultimately, they have to punt. Let's see what Jordan McLeod can do here.
It's Knight and Black in the backfield as Knight now goes out in motion into the slot. First down, McLeod. Look at the protection, and he completes it to his running back, Black. Bobbled it, got it, pushed out of bounds, shy of the marker, got 8.
We were impressed with Kalen Black today. Done a good job getting those tough yards inside, helping to pick up first downs. Had a touchdown, of course, earlier.
This offense for James Madison, averaging almost 8 yards per play. Second and 2. On the ground they go. Black making the cut. Look at him get upfield. There was nothing up the middle. Bounced it to the outside. Gets out of bounds in the red zone. He got 15.
And again, it's Surratt on the outside. Elijah Surratt with a great block. And then Kalen Black with the smarts to know where to cut it up. Right there. Just come across. Get vertical quick.
Longest run of the day for Black when he picked up 15. James Madison is looking for more. McLeod looking for Black. Nobody there. Touchdown, James Madison. A 15-yard touchdown pass from McLeod to Black. And it has been all Dukes today.
Little air raid concept, they call it mesh. Cross the wide receivers, the running back out in the flat on a rail route, wide open, and a great throw. Can't tell you how hard of a throw this is. It's hard to cover, but if you can make the throw, it's deadly. He's out in the flat, ball's there. You see the cornerback goes with the wide receiver crossing, and wide open touchdown by Black.
Wise, his extra point is up and good. James Madison, 27-6 here in the third quarter.
JMU finally opening up here the third quarter. Nice touchdown drive, getting back on top, 27-6. JMU over Georgia Southern.
In 19 career games, Black had 3 receiving touchdowns before today. Today, he's got 2. James Madison, a 27-6 lead. And he just walked into the end zone. No one was even near him.
Great play design, concept, and yeah, he was wide open on that running back rail route. He's been great all day today.
Connor Madden to kick things away for James Madison. And that one will go through the end zone. Take a look at our next UFC Fight Night on ESPN+. It's tonight from the Apex in Las Vegas. It's highlighted by our featherweight main event. Rising contender Sadiq Youssef takes on the veteran striker Edson Barboza. The prelim started 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. That's followed by the main card at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Fall foliage as the trees are turning colors here. Shenandoah Valley. It is
what a
beautiful
great drive in,
country.
right? Yeah, beautiful this time of year. Get your hike on out here.
Georgia Southern, this high-powered, explosive offense has been held in check. What needs to change?
It's, you know, they got to start getting some guys downfield at this point. You know, I mean, JMU's done such a good job of tackling guys in space. And then when they've tried to go downfield, JMU hasn't let them.
O.J. Arnold. And we've seen so many times this year, James Madison is so good defensively versus the run that teams just basically abandon it. I mean, look what they did against Troy. Troy, one of the best running teams in this conference, just went all throwing in that second half against Madison.
Yeah, they had minus 12 rushing yards and couldn't get anything going. But now for Georgia Southern, if you wanted to run the ball, you can't now being down 21.
Bryn throws that slant to find Barden. And that's good for a first down at the 40, a gain of 11.
And you hesitate to, get too carried away. This is a very explosive offense that can score and score quickly. So if you're Georgia Southern, right now you're saying, look, don't look at the scoreboard. Just keep putting together play after play, positive yardage. Let's move this ball down the field quick.
On the ground, Georgia Southern averaging just over 2 yards per game. Look to throw here in the second half. Bryn downfield. And Caleb Hood was covered up one-on-one by Rummenigge.
Remember, JMU, they come into this game last in the Sun Belt Conference in pass defense. And a lot of it's due to some things they weren't doing well at the beginning of the year. But here today, they have come out well and really done a good job, again, covering those short routes, tackling the space, but also being there on the spot on the deep routes.
Put in motion now, a little trickeration. Back to the quarterback, Bryn. He's going to throw it back to Hood. Hood still on his feet, making guys miss, and he is brought down at midfield. He gets a first down. All that, and they get 12.
A lot going on in that play, and I feel like this is the vogue play, the double reverse flea flicker back to the quarterback. I've seen a few offenses run it this year, and they wanted to go deep down the right sideline, wasn't there, so smartly throws the ball back to Caleb Hood.
This is to Barden, and they're going to say Barden's knee was down after picking up 5. That previous catch by Caleb Hood, his 10th reception on the day already.
He's been great. And if you're JMU right now, the conversation is don't give up a big play. Don't let anything go over our heads. Make them go the length of the field and chew that clock.
2nd and 5 on the ground. O.J. Arnold, there is no running room up front.
And it's not like they're stacking that box either. There's 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers in there. But look at those big boys there. Look at Tyreek Tucker, 6 foot, 300 pounds. We've already talked about James Carpenter in the middle, stuffing that run.
This play is blown dead. We've got whistles and a timeout on defense. James Madison.
Timeout. James Madison. It is their first. It will be 30 seconds.
So Kurt Signetti called timeout with his defense looking at a 3rd and 4. How about you kick off your Week 6 NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the app. Before the 5-0 49ers square off with the Browns, a look at how George Kittle is motivated by letters from his dad. Plus, where do Belichick and the Patriots go from here? Those stories, all the early breaking news, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. Did the Patriots get things turned around? They got the Raiders this week.
Well, I mean, it'd be an opportunity for them against the Raiders, but yeah, they've looked bad, getting blown out a couple of times. Something in all my years playing against the Patriots. First of all, they never lost much, and when they did, they never got blown out. So certainly something different we're seeing out of New England.
Did they have a certain Tom Brady when
yeah,
he played?
that guy was decent, pretty good.
The Eagles looking at 3rd and 4. Bryn will look to run it, and he picks up the first down himself. He stopped short of the 35. He picked up 7.
Good job by Bryn recognizing there's only 3 linemen Russians. That opens up a lot of lanes. They drop a linebacker out. And he's not a fantastic runner, but he's good enough when you need it.
First down. Bryn looking to set up the screen, and the ball is out. It is picked back up by Georgia Southern. Jalen Green. My goodness.
And you might want to know where the #1 sack artist in the Sun Belt Conference is at all times. And he comes absolutely unblocked off the edge. Not sure what the protection was. I think Jalen White was supposed to come across and block him. Not the matchup you want. You're running back on the best defensive end.
And Davis Bryn is still down after the play. The medical team is going to attend to him. He took a shot.
Wow. I mean, it was just absolutely unabated right there. A shot right in the chops.
Legal hit?
Legal hit. You know, he hit him in the shoulder there. And, you know, that's football. No targeting on that play. It was just a vicious hit.
So Davis Bryn gets a round of applause from the crowd as he gets back to his feet. And it looks like that means the backup J.C. French will come into the game.
And you just like to think if you're going to attempt a pass downfield like that, okay, what's our protection? We got to make sure we account for the best defensive lineman, not just on this team, but maybe in the conference, and he comes absolutely free.
This linebacking core is something special for the Dukes.
They are. D-line, linebackers have really played well. We talked about Jalen Walker, how well he's played.
So here we go, the Memphis transfer, J.C. French. Let's see how many plays he stays on the field as Bryn had to go off for at least one. French, batted, and it's picked off! James Carpenter trying to find the end zone. Trying to get around the defender, brought down inside the 5. The big man rumbling down the field, but we do have a penalty.
And I think they're going to get a block in the back downfield. And his teammates, they were fighting so hard to get a block for him to get the end zone.
Illegal block in the back on the return team, number 5. 10-yard penalty. First down, JMU.
We saw him with the batted ball and almost the interception earlier, but same thing. He's athletic and he knows when to pop out, times it perfectly, and then this time makes the catch, and he's trying to get to that hitch. And his teammates desperately want to throw a block for their buddy because he plays so hard. He's just blocking the back at the end, but what a great play. What a great player, James Carpenter.
First turnover by either team. It was set up because of the hit by Jalen Green. It knocked the quarterback Davis Bryn out, at least for a play. The backup J.C. French came in. His first pass intercepted. And now here's Jordan McLeod in good field position. McLeod gives it to Black. Black with the hole on the outside. He found the end zone again. A 20-yard run. And Black is just running all over everybody today.
and Black takes the initial handoff and goes into the interior of the line. The linebackers converge, and then he has the quicks to bounce that thing to the outside, and then the speed to take it all the way. I mean, we've talked about him time and time again, but Kalen Black is a baller.
James Madison had back-to-back drives starting in Georgia Southern territory. The extra point for Wise, up and good. Did you expect this?
No, not I. We talked about it how James Madison felt confident about their game plan coming in, but I don't even know if they felt this confident. This is really well executed, both sides of the ball.
3 total touchdowns for Black. That is a career high. He's just taken over.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. Getting out in the flat, starting to drive out. Love a running back that can catch the ball as well as he can. And then just kicking it to the outside. He reads blocks well. And then just powers it up inside with the speed to kick it to the outside. And then the pass. I mean, he does it all, John. I mean, you know, like a back that can do everything, that is multifaceted the way Kalen Black is.
And then he's just going to outrun you.
Yeah, forget about the speed.
The Dukes have opened it up 34-6 here in this third quarter.
James Carmi, a defensive lineman's dream, right? Like, get your hands on the football, what?
You have space in front of you to run?
Space in the run. I love it.
The story really has been Black. And Dawn, he's done so much to stay healthy and really work on his body.
He has, because his freshman year only played 2 games, a heart condition. The next year tore his ACL. He was still making it back last year. So he told me he does everything, sets a schedule every day, uses Normatec, compression boots, uses cupping therapy. Guys, he started acupuncture into his hamstrings, his calf, his back. He said he doesn't want to ever deal with any injuries again. He's doing everything he can to make sure that he's available. He swears by that acupuncture.
You know, Don, whatever it takes. If you're a football player, I did it when I played. Your body is how you perform, and you're best served to take care of it no matter what it takes. And that's a smart lesson that Kalen Black has learned.
Slant route. Barden, he has popped again. The safety Q Reed came up to hit him. A gain of 7.
James Brin back in the game here.
Run with White. Just got back to the line of scrimmage. That's no gain. That average yards per rush has dropped to 1. An average of 1 yard per rush for Georgia Southern today.
It's just speed and athleticism from top to bottom on this JMU defense.
This is danger territory because JMU right now has all the momentum. 3rd and 3 coming up for the Eagles.
I know where Jalen Green is.
Empty backfield. Bryn throws incomplete, trying to find Joshua Thompson.
Got a PBU by the back judge there.
The last 3 drives for Georgia Southern. 3 and out, interception, and now another 3 and out.
This offense just has not been able to get going. Usually at some point of every game they catch fire. Just haven't done it.
Smith, punt again, Surratt. Will have a chance to return. Oh, makes somebody look silly. All kinds of juke moves. Uh-oh, look out. That left side opened. And Surratt banged out of bounds inside the 20. The ankle breaker. Everybody getting involved on the party today.
John, coaches always talk about wanting to play complementary football, all 3 phases, and JMU has done that. What a nasty juke move Surratt has thrown out there. Got an injury down the other part of the field here, but special teams, offense, defense, the Dukes are getting it done.
Seth Robertson is the man down for Georgia Southern.
And let's not forget how well Surratt has played blocking today, blocking on that perimeter for Kalen Black and his other teammates.
So it's good to see him get all back to his feet. ESPN Plus is the home for more than 50 Sun Belt football games, including these games for next Saturday. Georgia Southern, they will host Louisiana Monroe at 2 Eastern, and Arkansas State hosts Coastal Carolina at 7. If you're a Sun Belt fan, go to ESPNplus.com to sign up.
Coastal Carolina got that big win earlier this week over App State, field goal win. And how about Arkansas State? Made the switch to quarterback Jalen Rayner, and they're playing well now under Butch Jones.
Third straight start in opponent territory for James Madison. McLeod, strong throw over the middle. And we had not seen that lull in his game here in this third quarter. He's been on the money. Completes that one to the Surratt brother, Elijah Surratt. So his brother with a nice punt return, and now the wide receiver with the reception.
And that ball is right on the money, right out where only your wide receiver can get it. It's been great.
First and goal from the 5. McLeod keeps it himself and just gets back to the line of scrimmage. There was a hole, but it closed up pretty fast. Isaac Walker got in there to wrap up the quarterback.
You're right, there was a hole, and that thing shut down. I thought that was going to be a clear lane for McLeod to scamper in.
See the Dukes right now, they're in no hurry.
No.
With this kind of lead, they're going to start bleeding the clock here as we approach a minute to play here in this third quarter. Second and goal from the 5. Handoff. Lawton, he is in there. The pride of Staten Island with a 5-yard touchdown run. And JMU keeps building that lead.
Another great scheme by JMU. You bring 2 pullers to the right side and then have your running back counter back. Linebackers overflow and you pop it in the end zone. This offense, safe to say, they've answered the questions about their lulls in their game, especially in the third and fourth quarters.
Wise, his extra point is good. Does this feel like a statement game for James Madison?
There's no doubt about it. Remember, they were trying to make a statement in this game last year. They come in undefeated. They're ranked number 25, and they let it slip through their hands, largely by not playing well. So they wanted to come out today clearly and make a statement of who the best team in the Sun Belt is. And, man, it's hard at this point to argue it's not JMU so far here today.
Last year, Kurt Signetti. Take a look at his season. First season in the FBS, and it was an offensive explosion. They were 5-0. They'd gotten to the top 25, and then they took that trip to Georgia Southern, and their season got tripped up.
That's what happened. Remember, we talked about it with him giving up 578 yards passing, had the 4 turnovers, the block punt for a touchdown. Just didn't play well. You know, maybe Kurt Signetti thought they were maybe thinking a little too highly of themselves, or whatever it was. They learned their lesson. They've come out here today and played lights out.
James Madison has owned this third quarter. 21 points. We talk about the transition here of Georgia Southern. They take it out of their own end zone. A good return. As Buchanan will take it across the 20, a gain of 26. Done.
Hey, I just want to tell you guys, make no mistake, this was a revenge game for James Madison. I talked to a bunch of their players this week, and they all talked about last year's game against Georgia Southern, how it still stings. It was disappointing. It was a heartbreaker how they let them off the hook. James Carpenter told me that the defense felt last year's loss was on them. They had no sacks in that game. They could not stop them. It's been talked about all week long in this locker room. So this one was circled on their schedule at the beginning of the year for the Dukes.
They've definitely shown up and played like it from the opening kick. On the ground, O.J. Arnold. Let's remember, this is year 2 of the transition from FCS to the FBS, which means they're still not eligible for postseason play, meaning they can't go to a bowl game, they can't compete for a conference championship. There is a wrinkle to that, however, right? If there aren't enough bowl-eligible teams and they do become bowl-eligible, they could get in there at the end of the season.
And look, I think you never say never, right? Because you keep winning games. Look, I think the powers that be like to see great teams playing in big games, so you don't know what happens, but right now that's the rules.
2nd and 8. When you make the transition from FCS to FBS, you have to do 2 years, and you're not eligible for the postseason.
And they do that because they don't want to see teams, when they have a good squad, jump up and perform well, and then when they're not being so well, jump back down to FCS. That's what I've been told.
And that's the end of the third quarter. James Madison up big.
JMU well on their way to their 6th win. Of course, not bowl eligible because of the 2-year transition to FBS, but even politicians in Virginia jumping in for a waiver. Virginia Attorney General Jason Mayares, not giving up hope, wrote an official letter to NCAA President Charlie Baker and the Division I Board of Directors, urging them to consider an exemption for JMU's postseason eligibility this year. You see part of that letter. He cited the Duke's readiness at this level. Guys coming in 13-3 as an FBS program the last 2 seasons, 2-0 in the Sun Belt. Now, I will tell you that the NCAA denied JMU's final appeal. That was back in April. I do want to point out, too, I feel like a good reporter would point this out, that Jason Mayares is a 1998 graduate of JMU.
So you're saying he's got a little interest in the fight here.
He might have, yeah, he might bleed a little purple.
Yeah, that's always tough because, on one hand, the rules are the rules, and that's, you don't have to like it, but that's the way it is. But you just, when you're having a great season, and if they continue to have this season, they're undefeated. You like to think somewhere somebody in power says, "Man, this is fun." College football fans would like to see this team get their whatever they deserve, and so we'll see how it goes.
Georgia Southern here in this 4th quarter, 2nd and 8. That's Barden. He picked up 18 off the pass from Davis Brin. Now it's great to see him even still in this game. He took a shot in that 3rd quarter from Jalen Green, had to leave for a play. The backup J.C. French threw an interception on the next play. On the ground, still trying to establish something, and Arnold loses 1. If you're the offense here for Georgia Southern, what is there left to salvage out of this game here against James Madison?
I think all you can do is keep playing. Sometimes things just don't work out. You can't panic. You can't start doing things totally differently or anything like that. I think right now you're Davis Brin. Just focus on this play. Focus on finding the right guy, putting the ball on target. If you're a receiver, make the reception. It's still a real good team.
Toss to the outside to White. And if you're an offense going against James Madison, I know you have to try to run the ball to try to be balanced. But with a front like this, can't you just kind of throw it out the window?
You can't. They make teams one-dimensional. Now, Georgia Southern is kind of a one-dimensional team by design, but these other teams throughout the Sun Belt, that's what they do. If you have a balanced attack, they're going to straight shut your run game down and force you to try to throw the ball. And now, look out. Their secondary is playing really well against the pass. We're seeing it here today.
3rd and 5. Good adjustment. The ball was thrown behind the receiver. Tight end J.J. McAfee was able to haul it in traffic to gain 10.
Remember, Davis Brin took that huge shot from an unabated Jalen Green earlier. He's still hanging strong in the pocket. We talked about the accuracy, not quite as sharp as it normally is, but a good play by the receiver.
McAfee in motion on first down. Bryn settles in that pocket, throws underneath. He'll find another tight end, Keaton Upshaw. And Upshaw will be tackled at the 15, a gain of 14.
JMU at this point, that's what you want. Just nothing over your head, no big plays. Make them just keep going the length of the field. Let that clock be your friend.
We've seen Georgia Southern put together drives like this one. This is the 10th play coming up, but they have not been able to put it in the end zone yet.
Just 285 yards here today. It's been pretty good yards, but they haven't been able to get in the end zone.
On first down, Bryn pressured, and he's picked off. Second interception from this defense. That's Chris Chukwuneke. When it's your day, it's your day. And James Madison, with an off week to prepare for this, they have been ready from the jump. 41-6 here in the fourth. Chris Chukwuneke with the interception to keep Georgia Southern out of the end zone. James Madison is up big. Coming up at 3:30, we go to the Pacific Northwest. Michael Penix Jr. Rocky, he is now the front runner in the Heisman race. He has so many wide receivers he can hit. He has been lighting it up. What a matchup. Number 7 versus number 8, Oregon, 3:30 Eastern, coming up on ABC.
How about Penix, 11.2 yards per pass attempt. That's absolutely incredible. 2,000 yards on the year.
Davon Gilmore just fill up that hole. A loss of 2.
When ball's in this area of the field, you're on defense, you smell the blood in the water. Like, come on, let's go try to get that safety. Nothing a defender is more eager for than trying to get his safety.
Ball spotted from the James Madison 1. They run again with Black. And he'll be spun down, tackled by Justin Myers. If you're just joining us, the story heading into this one was head coach for James Madison, Curt Cignetti, called out his quarterback publicly. And you got to give a lot of credit to Jordan McLeod. Dealing with all of that.
Yeah.
The noise heading into this game, how he's responded. Yeah, there's been maybe a few throws off the mark, but McLeod has had an outstanding game. Here he is, going deep. And just popped free, incomplete. It was intended for Taji Hudson. Shamar Bartholomew right there in coverage, and Hudson slow to get up.
But no, you're right. I mean, that's what you got to do in life, right? You got to respond. You're going to have mistakes. You're going to have bad things happen. You're going to have people question you. You got to be able to respond. And Jordan McLeod's done that today.
So the receiver, Taji Hudson, is still down after the play. And really at this point, you just want to get out of this game with no injuries and stay healthy. Let's check in the studio with Kevin.
All right, John, 15 unanswered for Arkansas right now. Sam, this is KJ Jefferson to Rashad Dubinion.
And it was that wheel route. The inside linebacker gets stuck in the mess and can't get to the running back.
And then Sam Pittman, what does he call his analytics?
Sam-alytics. He doesn't care. 2-point conversion, making a 3-point game. Sam Pittman loves the call.
One-score game.
Wait a minute. Okay, Kevin and Sam, thank you for that update. Arkansas, Alabama, that's a ball game.
Ball game. Love KJ Jefferson.
Ryan Hansen will kick this one away to Caleb Hood. And Hood will just let it bounce, and it takes a JMU roll. A 48-yard punt. James Madison up big here in the fourth. We'll be back.
ESPN College Football is presented by Boost Infinite. Get unlimited wireless and the latest iPhone every year.
Beautiful shots, the top of Humpback Rock, part of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Once you climb up to the top, you can see the entire Shenandoah Valley. Defensive coordinator Bryant Haynes says that's one of his favorite places to go and get away. He says he's been working for Coach Signetti for 10 years now. I asked him, what is it like? He goes, he's up front. He's also very demanding to the point where he can hit you up at any point of the day. Sometimes 11 o'clock at night, he'd be like, hey, did you see this? So he said, I go on a hike sometimes with my girlfriend just to get up and go away. But also he told us when you get up to the top of that mountain, there's no cell service.
There's no text messages. There's no film up on Humpback Rock. Get away from it all. I'll tell you what, a coach needs that. I mean, these guys are all ball all the time. Sometimes you got to be able to clear your mind, and it's certainly working for Bryant Haynes. His defense has been phenomenal here today.
You best believe when you get down and cell service works again, you might have a few text messages.
Oh, yeah, they're going to come piling in.
2nd and 3, Davis Brin. His throw is off the mark. DeAndre Buchanan couldn't hold on.
This JMU team is hitting its stride at the right time here. All 3 phases, as we've discussed.
That was the 50th pass attempt for Davis Brin today. 30 for 50, 260 yards. He's been sacked 3 times. His backup, J.C. French, is in the game. French will pitch it to his running back, White. And White has enough for a first down. Now Brin comes back in the game.
Jalen White, we've talked, he's one of the best players, but when you get behind so quick, so early, you just can't have any semblance of a run game. You can't get Jalen White involved the way you want.
If there is a positive to take away for Georgia Southern, just seeing Jalen White healthy.
Yes.
That's something you can build on. On first down, Brin throws it into double coverage, and it is reeled in. That is a heck of a catch there. Josh Dallas, he picks up 11.
Big play. They just haven't had enough big plays out of this offense over the course of the day. Some of that's just being a little tick off, but a lot of it, in my opinion, goes to the job that JMU has done. Up front, getting after the passer. Back end's been lights out.
Brin, he'll take off himself and then will slide down safely. They mark him where he starts his slide. He's down at the 24. Let's take a look at the Sun Belt East standings. And remember, James Madison cannot qualify for the conference championship because this is the 2nd year in transition for them to the FBS. We will have it in a second after this play. Second and 7. Brin off his back foot, and it's picked off again. Chauncey Logan decides he will stay in his own end zone. Threw it into double coverage, but trying to find Buchanan. 2nd interception thrown by Davis Brin.
Sometimes when things are going good, they're going really good. This defense has been great all year. You get the tip ball, Johnny on the spot, JMU rolling.
James Madison looking to stay perfect here in this 4th quarter over Georgia Southern. It is time now for the great performance brought to you by State Farm, and we have to give it to none other than Jordan McLeod.
He's been fantastic. He answered the bell, right? You got to do that in life. You get called out by the coach a little bit. Haven't been playing as well. Haven't been playing a full game. He came out and delivered. And it was all about how he started, John. Started the game 8 for 10, 111 yards, those 2 touchdowns early, and he has kept his foot on the gas this whole game.
Great performance brought to you by State Farm. Jordan McLeod. Black will run out of bounds. You could also give it to the defense for James Madison.
True.
I mean, look at the last 5 drives for Georgia Southern. 3 and out, interception, 3 and out, interception, interception.
Yeah, they've been great, and it's complimentary football. The teams that go far and win games and go undefeated are the ones where all three phases show up and play well, and they have done that here today.
Sunbelt East standings. James Madison 2-0, looking to move to 3-0. That's Tyrell Davis fills the hole. A tackle for loss, a loss of 1. It was interesting, though, talking to Curt Cignetti, head coach for James Madison this week. I mean, he is a football guy.
Through and through.
Wakes up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
He's in the office, already has the film tape on by 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And he could be there all night.
He just, I mean, he loves everything about the job, loves the prep work so much. That's the thing about as a coach. You can't just love game day. You got to love the prep work.
Going across the body, McLeod complete, trying to find Sproles. Let's take a look at the remaining schedule for James Madison. I'm not sure many people predicted this lopsided of a score. Maybe Curt Cignetti, because he was smiling pretty good in our meetings.
Yeah, and look, a tough game next week at Marshall. Marshall is also 4-1. The defense maybe not playing as good as they have in the past. Old Dominion, I mean, Georgia State's played a good year. And it is a tough schedule, but 12-0 is in play here. Coastal's down a little bit. App State maybe struggling a bit, so it's there for the taking for Curt Cignetti.
Hood, the deep man. And no return. Did not call for a fair catch. Just over 5 minutes to play in this one. James Madison trying to stay perfect.
A look at Larry McCammon with the Big Daddy Kane rope chain, set to lead Florida Atlantic up against USF next year on ESPN2. And then Sam on ABC, the big one in Seattle.
2 of the highest powered offenses in all of college football. Get ready for a show.
Coming your way, bottom of the hour, ABC, John.
All right, how about those unis? Those Oregon, I mean, they always cut out with something.
I was going to say, yeah.
Always, but those, they took it to another level with those.
Brilliant combinations.
J.C. French in at quarterback, tosses to Arnold. So it looks like the day is done for Davis Brin. Had a tough game against Wisconsin. Another tough game here. He's shown that he can bounce back when he's challenged.
That's the thing, is when he had the bad game against Wisconsin, the 5 interception, he came back and he had 0 picks and 7 TD throws. So, again, it's going to happen. And this is a no-slouch defense, as we've seen all day. It's, you know, if you're Davis Brin, you just got to pick up the pieces, watch the film, learn from it. And there's still a lot to play for and still a lot of success to be had for Georgia Southern.
Best run of the day for O.J. Arnold. Picks up 13 yards there. Had a little something extra for the defender at the end of that one, too.
I mean, for Georgia Southern, I mean, remember, they also know James Madison is not eligible to represent the East come, you know, the conference championship game. So they want to still keep fighting and staying in that top spot.
James Madison still blitzing. He had a rusher off the edge. It's thrown to the outside, complete to Buchanan. There is no let-up with this defense, even with this score. As a former defensive guy, is there anything to trying to keep the other team out of the end zone? Does that mean much?
Oh, point of pride. I mean, they have 2 field goals, but to come out of this game and say you held the best scoring offense to no touchdowns in a game, oh, you can pound your chest about a little bit about that. Absolutely, John.
So we do have a player down. Brent Austin, the defender for James Madison. He is down near the Georgia Southern sideline. Good to see him hop back to his feet. Under 4 minutes to play in this one. 2nd and 5 coming up for the Eagles. Last time Georgia Southern was held without a touchdown, 2021 at App State. They lost 27-3. They still have a chance to change that.
And that was pre-Clay Helton, right? So this offense under Helton is not, that would have been out of the end zone.
Pick up 15, now in the red zone. Can Georgia Southern find the end zone for the first time today? Backup is in, J.C. French. David Badinga, the running back. French avoids it. He will scamper, and he takes a shot. Trent Hendrick, have some of this.
Defense still playing hard, still fighting out there. Just, I mean, the players they have on this defense, it all starts with that physical. You got guys in the secondary that play physical. You got a winning defense. It's one thing to have your guys up front, but when you got them on all three levels, it's good.
Second and 8. They give it to Borden, and he cannot get to that edge on the left side. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Third down. Even though the crowd is thinning out, obviously, with the score here late in the game, what a game day experience. This is my first time here at James Madison. I have thoroughly enjoyed everything they have put on here today.
My first time, too. Love this stadium, love the energy. Really just love this campus.
Third and 8. French finds his tight end Upshaw, and Upshaw will be tackled short at the 1, a gain of 13. There's DJ Barksdale saving the touchdown. And for Barksdale, happy birthday. So here you go, Rocky. Defense, your pride's on the line right now.
Desperately trying to hold him out.
Badinga's the running back. They give him the carry, and he is stood up. Seth Nautala.
That was Q Reed coming out of the secondary, finding the crease, bang. That's how you want a safety to fill a hole.
The only thing left in doubt, will Georgia Southern get a touchdown? Second and goal. Handoff. And Badinga did not get in. So with the timeout, we take a look ahead. The biggest game of the day on ABC and the ESPN app. 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Bo Nix rocking those unis, man. Speckled on white. Those are fresh. Number 8, Oregon, taking on Michael Penix Jr. Number 7, Washington. Husky Stadium will be shaking for this one. This could determine the Pac-12 title race.
We've talked about Michael Penix and how great he is. How about Bo Nix? 15 touchdowns, just 1 interception, 80% completion. It's just amazing. We live in a time when quarterbacks are completing 80% of their throws. And 25 years ago, if you had a quarterback that was completing 60, it was unheard of. And then now a lot of them are doing it.
Students are high-fiving each other, but there's still something left to decide. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. David Badinga. And the Eagles have found the end zone for the first time today with 26 seconds left.
For Georgia Southern, look, it's good to just get that touchdown and at least say they didn't stop us inside the 5-yard line 4 straight times.
Michael Lance is on to the extra point for the Eagles. He kicks it in. I feel great for Jordan McLeod. Not like we root for anyone, but as a young man, to go through what he's gone through and to come out on the other side better for it, you got to celebrate what he's done today.
Yeah, life's about answering the bell. And you're going to have some bad patches. You're going to get called out, and it's up to you to respond. And he's done that. And he came out of the game, right out of the gate with a bang. 2 touchdowns right away. But the question was, could he sustain it throughout the whole game? And he did. I mean, there was only a couple drives that came up short for McLeod and JMU. And what a confidence booster, not just for him, but this entire team as you make a big push here.
Well, Rocky, let's remember, he scored a touchdown on his first 2 drives. And then that 3rd drive, it looked like he had an easy touchdown pass. He left it short. They had to settle for a field goal. Curt Cignetti put his arm around his quarterback. They had a conversation coming off the field. It could have unraveled, but it clearly didn't.
You're right. That could have been an opportunity where okay, now things are going bad. I can't stop it from happening. But bad things are going to happen during the course of a football game. It's absolutely inevitable. It's all about how you respond. Life is about how you respond.
Lance boots this one away. 26 seconds to play here in this ball game. Is there any weakness in this James Madison team with such a dominating performance?
I sure didn't see one today. All 3 phases were great. The pass rush was great. Stopped the run. The secondary was lights out. McLeod in this offense, great balance. Good blocking by the wide. I mean, you try to look for stuff that they didn't do well, and right now can't come up with much.
Victory formation for Jordan McLeod. Well earned. The final seconds will tick off here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. James Madison came in 5-0. They wanted revenge after losing last year at Georgia Southern, and they stay perfect on the season with a 41-13 win over Georgia Southern. And James Madison looking to stay perfect on the season. Head coach Curt Cignetti is down with Dawn.
All right, Coach, you challenged your quarterback the last few weeks to put together a full 4-quarter game. How would you rate his response today?
I think it's the best game he's played yet. There's still some plays out there we got to make. We're leaving on the field. Challenged the team at halftime about playing in the 3rd quarter. They responded well. It's a good win for us, and we got to turn it around real fast Thursday night against Marshall.
Already 6 wins in your 2nd year in the transition to FBS. What do you want the NCAA to take note about this team after this performance?
Common sense overrides all rules in life. And we're 14-3, right? And there's a lot of football left to play.
And 3-0 in the conference. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Congrats. Let's check in with Jordan here. I've got the quarterback, Jordan McLeod, with me. I was just talking to Coach. He challenged you, I know, last week during the bye week. He challenged you at halftime to come out and start strong in the 3rd quarter. How were you able to do that?
That was a big emphasis this week, just being able to come out. The last 2 games we've been real sluggish in the 3rd quarter. Come out knowing that any moment a team can, rally back. So we just knew that we had to just keep the gas with the lead.
What kind of statement do you feel like this offense and this James Madison team made in this win today?
Big statement. It's just, knowing that our biggest opponent is ourselves every week. So, we just got to get back in the film room and get ready for a game Thursday.
I have to ask you about the other side of the ball. When you're sitting over there and you watch your defense go to work, what are you thinking?
Our defense is amazing. Since I got here in January, the defense has been, they fly around the football. Our DBs are really great. We have great linebackers. Our D-line, obviously amazing. We stopped the run really well, and today we did really good in the pass game.
Congratulations on a great win.
Thank you.
Jordan McLeod, what a day, what a response. 259 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions as James Madison, a statement win. We thought this was going to be a slugfest, but from the open, James Madison took it to them. They win it 41-13 over Georgia Southern. For my partners, Rocky Boyman, Dawn Davenport, I'm John Schriffen saying so long from Harrisonburg, Virginia. Florida Atlantic for South Florida is coming up, but first we send it back to the studios with Kevin Connors and Sam Acho.